Good morning, you guys. So yeah, I probably have my little Barry White on. It's early. But I wanted to come back and to talk about this whole Kerrion Franklin story again and point out, like I was saying in my last video, I feel like some of what Larry and the Wiley show, some of it came off a little more exaggerated to me. This is my opinion. Um, to make the story a little more interesting. I mean, if we all, especially if it's a bunch of minorities and African American people in this, whomever is going to listen to this video, you guys understand that, and you probably have had something happen like that to someone in your family, or it's happened to you. You understand how that works when there is a warrant out for someone, and Kerrion has said that himself, and I'm going to let you guys listen to a little bit of his live with Larry Reid, that it was a traffic ticket. And it's probably just the traffic ticket, just like he's saying. Um, and all of the other stuff would have fell under felony, right? If he would have been a resistant arrest, if they were trying to like get him on some other charges, or all of this stuff, it would have fell under felony because that's considered, disorderly conduct, aggressive, aggravated assault, and all stuff like that. Um, so yeah, when it said misdemeanor, technically they're just holding him because when they ran his name, he came up with that warrant. And so they're holding him, giving, like I said in my other video, Texas the opportunity to pick him up if they want to. Um, and then he's going to be moved to Texas, which he could be sitting there for 2 to 3 weeks, like I was saying. And then once he moves to Texas, that's when he will get scheduled. And it could take even more time, depending on how busy they are, the court system, to see a judge. And then that's when whatever is going to get resolved. And it sounds like, according to Carry On, this was something that was already resolved. And this is something that I've heard about before from someone that I know as well, one that I've met in passing, that they didn't clear the system on her, and then that warrant was still sitting out there and so you end up wasting weeks of your life on something that was already resolved. And then they clear it up. And then, of course, they're going to say and do something to cover up the fact that they didn't clear it up. Okay, so we just going to go on and put that out there because that is what they do. Um, because they know that people who have the means to go get legal help or whatever in the situation, because you are really literally giving up weeks of your life. Like Carry On could miss to my understanding, some of the people on cast are saying they haven't filmed the reunion yet. So he may not make that reunion. He probably won't be there for the filming of that, depending on how they handle this situation. And it's unfortunate because he's saying that it was already resolved, but then, like I said, I know somebody personally in real life that has happened to. They were saying that they didn't clear the system, that she had already gone to court for whatever the situation was. And so it still was coming up to other police officers in other states that she had a warrant. And so things like that can happen as well, where the system is not updated. And then, people are out here, you're out here affecting somebody's life. People are losing their jobs and stuff. It's a lot. It's a lot of stuff that people don't ever discuss, right? They go on in a lot of this. But I'm going to let you guys listen to Carry On and Larry Reid. And a lot of people were saying, I don't know, I don't really watch Ricky Smiley like that, but they were saying that during their news, they kind of repeated what Larry was saying about this lady coming up deceased. And I don't know if Carry On told Larry and Carry On, like I was trying to explain as well, have a friendship. And I don't know if he told him about that situation. Something may have happened to the woman who owned the car before him. I don't know. And I don't really think he's going to bring it up in this conversation. But I'm going to let you guys listen to a couple minutes of what he had to say. But see, that's why I was saying, like, it's not a good idea to start repeating what you hear these YouTubers say, right? And you would think people would have learned from the whole Tasha K situation. right? But they don't. It's not okay to repeat anything that's not coming from the mainstream media. And people like TMZ, because TMZ, Harvey Levitz, whatever his name is connected to all these courthouses. The man was an attorney for many years. He's connected to all these courthouses. He's connected to Cedar Sinai. He's connected to these police departments. So when he's saying things, more than likely it is a fact because he's probably getting this information from real sources like that, right? So yeah, like I wasn't, that's why I said I don't know anything about all of that other stuff because he's listed as his charge is listed as a misdemeanor, which is minor, and we all know that. So that means that they were probably just holding him because he came up. He came up with that warrant. And he's going to talk about why he was stopped and he didn't feel like it was fair. But like I was also trying to explain, there's new technology and stuff out here now in these police cars. And so people really should be aware of that. And they're probably not going to make you aware of it because that's how they catch people, right? And I don't know if he knew this warrant was in Texas. It sounds like he's saying that it was cleared and it should not have been there, sitting there. But maybe somebody in the courthouse, COVID went on, people walked off jobs, people were not going into the office, they were working from home. Maybe people were not doing the things that they were supposed to be doing. Maybe it was never cleared. And then it was still sitting out there. And when he drove by, the car dinged, and police pulled him over. And for us as African American, it looked like that they're pulling us over simply because of the color of our skin. It is that at the same time because these police officers and people can make a choice um, whether or not they want to stop you, and we understand that as well. And he was driving to Beverly Hills. He said, and I think he said he was up early morning. I'm gonna try to let you guys listen to a couple of it. I don't need Larry Reid coming over here because I'm using his audio. But so if you guys want to hear the entire thing, you can go over to his channel, The Larry Reid Show, and listen to it if you haven't already. I also want to know, what do you guys think about that? About the fact that now he has a relationship with Kerrion, so Kerrion may not care that he's sensationalizing this story with bringing up this woman that was deceased or whatever. I wasn't believing it. That it just don't fall in line with common sense. Why would you go jump on a reality show knowing that you out here doing all kind of crazy stuff? Not the people not doing crazy stuff, but I'm just saying it just don't make a lot of sense to me, and that's why I couldn't buy into hearing any of that. And we understand things happen in life, like, and sometimes it's just a coincidence those things will happen. But I'm gonna let you guys listen to him, and then I'll come back. And very different, and we get to watch it. And he's on the line now. I think he's here and he's ready to find out what has been happening. I reported to you that he was wrongfully arrested, and then I told you all of the rumors surrounding his arrest. We're about to hear from his mouth what has transpired. Kerrion, are you here? Yeah, man. Okay. All right. So, first of all, how are you doing? I've been locked up, and it is not okay. Yeah, it's not cool. You know what I'm saying? I've been asking for medical attention, and I haven't been acknowledged. Just been denied. It's like day 2 or 3. I can't really tell. It's just unfortunate. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know that my inner circle is changing. There's been a lot of interesting things going on. I've been communicating with my pastor in the past couple of weeks about just different things that's been happening around me, feeling like I'm being set up, feeling like people are trying to catch me doing wrong, put me in a position where I can't be judged and, you know what I'm saying, arrested. Like, it's unfortunate to see how, black men in America aiming to live righteous, to live in their truth and to stay righteous, like, are continuously treated. I definitely am going to go 1,000% on, like, doing what I can to make sure that this type of treatment stops. After I was already booked in jail, they're trying to put extra gun charges on me that was never discussed during my arrest. They took my keys from me
acted like they was gonna give him back. It's just I've never seen this type of tripping before, and I've been arrested before. Just had to deal with speeding tickets and whatnot. But this type of treatment is really unfortunate. It really is.
Why did they stop you?
I mean, I've been working on so over the past year, I've had multiple vehicles. Like, I'm a producer, filmmaker. Like, I just love entertainment, but it comes with a lot. It comes with a lot of people doing funny stuff, just sound designing, and being a filmmaker, creating things with my imagination. That line of what you can do in your imagination and what you can do in reality, it gets blurred. So it's healthy for me to have my therapist, Rosetta, and just different legal people around me so that I can know the rules and regulations between real time and what we can do in Hollywood in like just a studio setting. So I'm still learning the rules of how we can create, but I don't live a crazy lifestyle outside of my art. I stick to myself. I don't really bother nobody. So when I get the feeling that different women or whoever, different people who are attracted to me, when I get the feeling like I'm feeling being manipulated or misused, it definitely puts me deeper into my solitude because I'm not out here to get nobody in trouble, and I don't want to be out here around the wrong group of people so that I can be framed for their wrongdoings as well. So
why did
I'm in a lot of pain. Huh?
So why did they stop you though? Because I thought it was because of a tail light.
So I've been working on one of my cars, and one of my tail lights, the fuse started tripping. So I was working on the fuse, and I was just up early making moves, and I was in Beverly Hills, and so they stopped me talking about some. I got 2 warrants. I've already had one of them worked on. I got my family contacting that lawyer because I had a lawyer figure it out. And so I'm being told a lot of things, and I don't know what's actual right now. So I just want y'all to keep me in my prayers. And like, I do need a lawyer to help me with my whole situation. So whatever assistance I can get, I really need that right now.
Okay. With me and another person that you call, that you look up to, John P. Key, Gospel Award winner, John P. Key, have been looking into doing some things, but as you stated, there's a few steps before we can do what we can do from where we are. But just to clarify, you were stopped because of tail light, right?
That's what they said, like, and I expressed to them that I was fixing it that morning and I was headed to another AutoZone. Like, I had already been working on it. So I'm just up early because I can't drive at nighttime. So I'm up early working on my vehicle, and they stopped me.
Right. Okay, well, you can't see at night or something?
I started recording during the police stop, and they took my phone and stopped the recording.
Oh. Okay.
They took my phone out my hand and stopped it.
Okay, what I'm saying, you said that you don't drive at night. That's because you can't see or something at night?
No, because I've been working on the car. I needed to tell her I was giving me issues.
Okay. Sorry, I just had a moment. Okay, so they stopped you for the light, so they say you really don't know. Then when they stopped you, they started treating you like something, like you had something.
It was 8 vehicles surrounding me.
8
It was 8 different vehicles. 8.
Wow. So do you think it's possible that there's something going on with this car that you don't know nothing about? Where did you get the car from?
I mean, the car's registered. I've been stopped before. Nobody never said anything about like a murder or anything. Like, this is the first time I've ever heard about this. So I'm just keeping my head. I'm just keeping my mind positive. And
now, as you guys can hear, he said that was the first time that even he was hearing about a murder, right? So yeah, I don't think this has anything to do with the situation. I think that when they ran the license plate, because he's saying that it was registered, so it was registered to Kerrion, but Kerrion has a warrant in Texas, and so regardless if the car belonged to whoever before, um, if he has that warrant, that's why they pulled him over. And it's also why they had all the 8 cars, because for whatever reason, when you hear that someone's wanted, it kind of heightens people, I guess, their awareness, or however you want to word that. Child is early. I don't know. I can't get it together. But he I feel like, and we're talking about Beverly Hills. So these people are not going to see any action until they see the next black person driving through Beverly Hills, probably. Right. So, anyway, yeah, like I said, I just think that that's what it was. It was the warrant, which probably heightened their awareness. Okay, he's wanted for something, which he's wanted for a traffic ticket. Okay. And I think that he said that before, that he had some tickets that he had to take care of for speeding. Now, Kerrion was moving around a lot. I don't know if you guys were following him after the whole situation with his father. He was going a lot. He was going live a lot because people were creating a lot of stories around him back then, right? This Chris guy, the one that, like I was saying in the other video, who also came up deceased from an overdose. Okay, let me say that again, from an overdose. um, he came out saying all this stuff about what Kerrion. He had uh, recorded Kerrion talking. Well, they were in an argument, but then Kerrion brought up his father, or he brought up his father, and it kind of triggered a whole, meltdown. And I think there was another young lady who was involved in the conversation as well, that Carrie was dating. I think he was dating the girl in the house, and he probably was dating both of them, and that's probably what created the whole argument in the first place. Let's just keep it real about that. And so, that whole thing came up, and people were creating stories around that, and then he was going live saying some other stuff, and talking about possibly being abused as a child, or he felt abused because he wasn't getting the communication that he thought he should have gotten from his father and his mother. But then, the mother came out. They both came out. Kirk Franklin also went on the Tamron Hall show. The mother came out and she kind of said some things as well. And then he went live again with his mother at his grandma, because I think he was staying with his grandmother in Texas. And the reason why I really can't, I'm just going to talking about me like looking into the whole Texas thing, is because I don't know what part of Texas he's from or he was living in. Because just because Kirk Franklin was raised wherever, it doesn't mean that this is where they lived, right? He could have been raised in one city and as an adult moved into a different city, different environment, obviously, because he was a celebrity. And so I don't really know exactly where he was in Texas to look up these traffic tickets, because that's all it is. It's a traffic warrant. I don't think it has anything to do with any woman being missing or deceased or anything like that. Like I said yesterday or the day before, the mainstream media would have jumped on that whole situation if that was in fact the case. I do believe that because he is Kirk Franklin's son. Um, and people are very quick to keep reminding of that, of us, of that. So yeah, the mainstream media and TMZ, like I said, Radar, people like that, they would have jumped on that if that was in fact true. And so I think that some people know that it's really just what he's saying it is. It was just a traffic ticket. But yeah, you guys want to hear the rest of the whole conversation between him, and it doesn't go on that much longer actually, because the audio is going to cut off. And which is leading me into what I want to say, and some other people have said it as well. I don't think the Carry-On should have done that, and I don't think Larry should have aired that, because it's never a good idea when you're asking people what their stay in jail was like. You should always do that once they come home, okay? Because you don't know what he's witnessing while he's there, and this stuff can get these people that work at these jails are people just like us. Okay, they're on YouTube listening to what people are saying. They're watching videos. They're watching the news, TV shows. They're doing all the same things that all of us, the rest of us, are doing. Okay, so you might want to be careful playing recordings of people, and then they're recording them anyway. So somebody's there listening to what he's saying anyway. And so it's just not good. Then, he's saying the negative things about what his experience is like in there. That's something you ask people when they come home. You make sure they get home. You guys get what I'm going with that before you start questioning them about stuff like that, because you don't, like I said, you don't know what he's seeing in there. Like it could be all kind of craziness going on right there in front of Kerrion. And so you don't want to yeah, you just don't want to do that. I'm sorry. That's just how I feel about it. And I understand that, Larry Reid is not the street person to have that knowledge like that. And he said he was arrested before. But, who's to say if he really is thinking in those terms? Like, yeah, you should be asking him what it's like in there, and, you know, all that stuff, right? I think that's just my personal opinion. But I get it. These YouTubers, they're trying to get their clicks and views and stuff, and this is what this is about. This is about the income that's going to be generated off of these videos, or what have you. And so people are not thinking about the protection of other people, right? But you have to be careful with stuff like that. Like, we hear these stories all the time about people coming. I mean, it don't even matter about race anyway, right, or anything else like that. You hear these stories of these people going to jail or prison and not coming out. And sometimes they can be going in for very minor things. Like, this is a traffic ticket we're talking about. Okay. This is not about any woman being missing or none of that stuff. And I think you can kind of hear Larry Reid trying to clean that up, that that's not in fact the case. Um, but yeah, I just wanted to say that, come back and say that, because I was listening to Wiley yesterday, and he was saying, oh, wow, people picked this story up and they kind of ran with it about this woman and all this, the car, who owned the car, and all this stuff. um there was nothing to back that up anyway. Larry Reid did pull not one receipt about none of that. So nobody should have been repeating that like that. But like I said, in the world of YouTube, this is what people do. Like, people had all that stuff to say about Tasha K, but then you guys are going to see how all these other people do the very same stuff. So, that's why I said the hypocrisy is real thick in life. But I digress. Let me know what you guys think about this story. How do you feel about how Larry handled that? If you already heard the full interview, the phone is going to disconnect. Obviously, you only get so much time on the phone, and these calls cost money. They cost money per minute. So people are going to have to keep putting money on, uploading money on there for him to even use the phone in the first place. And once that money runs out, that call is definitely going to disconnect. So, what do you guys think about all of this? Let me know in the comments. I noticed that his mother hasn't made any statements, and I don't really expect Kirk Franklin to say anything, but let me know what you guys think about the story in the comments, and I will see you in the next video.